This is the Transformers Generation Selects Super Megatron. Big thanks to Kal-El Collectibles for this figure. I kept it in the shipping box and wanted to unbox it for the video. Let's get right to it. And here we have the box out of the shipping box. It's got a sleeve that says Transformers Generation Select Super Megatron, much like what we got with Star Convoy. So nice little touch from Takaratomi. And once you slide that out, you have the main box, Transformers Generation Selects, with that big Decepticon logo. And there is no, just like Star Convoy, there is no sticker which you need to cut out. It's not taped up or anything. Just flip it open and here we go. Oh boy. Wow. Look at that. Nice jet mode. He's got the instruction manual underneath right there. He looks really great. Let's get him out of packaging. And here is Super Megatron out of packaging. And boy, does this figure give a whole new meaning to the word super. Because this figure is so amazing. It's just so cool. Autobots, die. Now, if you're not familiar with this figure, he's from the comic book, the Manga comic book, I think, the Battlestars or something like that, super life form robots or something like that. I never read up on that comic book, but he looked something like this. So he does kind of look it. And if you look at this image, it kind of has sort of the beginnings and inception of what the Transformers animated Megatron kind of looked like. So I love that. I love these sort of cartoony anime looking Transformers. Most of the online pictures I've seen, the promotional pictures from online sellers, the pictures do not do justice to this figure, because just look at this guy. Big, huge cannon. You got these tail fins right here. It's just part of the aesthetic of Megatron. And you will also notice that a lot of the parts seem very familiar. That's because it borrows some of the engineering and even pieces of the Titan's Return Galvatron. A lot of the parts of this figure is brand new, and I reckon, if it were up to me, I'd like to think this is a completely new sculpt, despite some borrowed pieces here and there. Before talking about the figure in greater detail, let's do some size comparisons first. Now, I don't have my Star Convoy anymore. I had sold that off to a buddy, but I have the next best thing, which is the Power of the Primes, Leader Class Optimus Prime, and Star Convoy is supposedly they're in scale, but they're not, and it's a shame, because that would have been really awesome. And you can't blame Takaratomi and Hasbro, because they took this from the Galvatron mold, and it is what it is. If you did have the Star Convoy, you could still put them on the shelf together. I'm sure they'd still look pretty good, pretty decent. He is, however, I think, more in scale with this leader class, which is actually a Voyager class, EARTHRISE Optimus Prime. Megatron's always been a little bit bigger than Optimus Prime, and I think the scale works for these two figures rather than this figure. Nevertheless, I do love what they've done with this figure, and maybe, who knows, maybe they'll turn this one into a Star Convoy. If you know Hasbro, they love reusing their molds, and I think that would be a great setup if they did actually do that with this mold. And now on to the details of this figure. This is the Super Megatron robot mode. First stage in the robot mode, or form, I should say. And he looks really cool. He's got this huge cannon blaster. You remove it. Articulation for the figure, he's got a ball jointed neck. He's got this ratcheting waist swivel. It's got some shoulder articulation, some arm articulation. This one ratchets in and out, forward and backward. No ratchet in the forward and backward joint and hinge. Double jointed elbows because of transformation. Some ratcheting wrist articulation because of transformation. Hips can go in and out, forward and backward. Thigh swivel. Hinge knees. and some rocker pivots for the ankles, maybe a little bit of forward and backward motion. Now onto his other mode in robot mode. There is the Ultra Megatron mode, which is right here. You just lift the head right here, and then you swivel his headband or forehead. It's a little tight. You swivel it like this, and then now he's got that new forehead. It's like a red gem. I don't know, it's not a gem. It's a crest on his forehead. And I guess that makes him Ultra Megatron. And then you fold out the wings as you would in jet mode. Do it this way and then this way. And then the weapon, you also need to transform this. You need to split the barrel right here. And then what you want to do is you want to lift this part right here. And then you want to remove these cannons right here. Put these back right there. Fold this up right here. And this will actually form there's some really very thin pegs right here. Tab them in. Don't tab them all the way because I fear they're going to break. And this sort of forms a shield, like a square, boxy shield. Which, you know, knowing Megatron, he doesn't need a shield. He's just so tough. And this one is supposed to tab onto his shoulder. It's very tight. It's a very, very tight peg hole. So I don't want to tab it in all the way, but you can if you wanted to. And it becomes this shoulder-mounted cannon. Fold down the chest this way. Rotate it this way. And fold it back right there. And there he is as Ultra Megatron, finally. Ultra Megatron. And you can really see there's a bit of a stress mark right here. I thought it was like some cell shading or something, but it's actually stress marks. I don't know why. The packaging was sealed, and I guess it happened in the factory when they were assembling this figure, and somebody had pressed it too much. It doesn't matter. I think it gives it more character. As long as it didn't affect the Decepticon symbol, I'm pretty okay with it. I kind of actually thought it was some form of aesthetic because he does have an asymmetrical chest when he is in Ultra Megatron mode. And now onto the final mode for his robot mode, or robot form, and that's the Ultra Megatron Omega. And that's really just involves doing his another change of face, like Blitzwing type of gimmick right here. So what you do is you lift it up again, keep that forehead or bandana on like that, but then you just, this time you swivel the entire face. It's a little difficult to do so because it's very tight. It's on a tight hinge. Put that back right there. And this is his Ultra Megatron Omega face. I suppose that's what the instructions said. And if you look closely, if it looks very familiar, that's because Takara Tomy and Hasbro have paid tribute, a nice little homage to the Megatron, the Bayverse, Movieverse Megatron face, the Last Night Megatron. Look at that. It's a nice homage. And yeah, it's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's a little bit off for me for this particular robot or form of Megatron. It's nice that he's got sort of like a battle mode, mask mode, beast mode sort of type of head sculpt. But yeah, so let's transform Super Megatron. Now the figure is still a triple changer. That means he's got a jet mode and a land vehicle or ground vehicle mode, being that he is taken from Titan's Return, a Galvatron. Let's do the land vehicle first, which is the tank, because I think that's the easier mode to get into from robot mode. So first thing you want to do is you want to remove the shield right here. Okay, you want to move this. And you want to form the barrel. Now the barrel is formed by, fold this, and then you attach the gun, as it were, its original position, and then you fold it out like this, fold it back like this, and that will be, and fold this one down like that. Put that on later, okay? Now to do so, what you want to do is you want to straighten the arms, and then fold the fists this way, and then tab in the forearm right there onto the shoulder. Same thing on the other side. You want to do that. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to transform the legs. You can already see some tank treads right here. What you want to do is you want to fold out those tank treads, and then you want to fold the feet like this. You want to fold it this way. Tank's going to be in this way, top part and the bottom part. So I'm going to fold the legs this way, and then these knee guards, they are going to tab onto those elbows. There's a pentagon shaped tab on those elbows, and you want to go ahead and tab them there. Now before you do that, you want to fold the knee joints right here. Just slide them down right like that. That will give you enough space so that they'll reach out. These knee guards are going to reach out and tab onto those elbow tabs right there. And then just straighten it out like that. Okay. And make sure that the legs are parallel like that. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and fold this down, fold down the head, and then fold this chest panel back up like that. You want to fold the shoulder pieces, shoulder pads like this. Fold those wing flaps right like that. And then lastly, what you need to do is just tab in the main gun, like what we assembled earlier, right here. And there you go. There is Super Megatron's tank mode. It feels a little hollow, but it looks great. It actually works. It kind of feels like Revenge of the Fallen, like spaceship tank mode. Like you can blast off into space, go underwater, and then come back down. Destroy the Autobots, Decepticons. So the turret can swivel and can go up and down. It's actually a pretty cool looking tank. Very nice. If you can tab everything tightly and nicely, it's a very, very solid and stable tank. The one thing though, it does not roll. It doesn't have any wheels, so you just have to use your imagination. And from tank mode, let's get him into his jet mode or super spaceship mode. So what you want to do is you want to remove the turret. Okay, might as well transform this properly right now. Fold this out like this. Fold back those cannons. Fold it back like this, and then form the main barrel as it was in the Super Megatron robot mode. I'm just going to stay like that. Okay, fold these out like this. Okay, what you want to do is you want to pop open the wings like what we did in Ultra Megatron mode. And then what you want to do is you want to detach the knee pads from the elbows. Okay, and what you want to do at this point is you want to rotate this entire waist assembly right here. Don't transform the legs right just yet until you finally rotated that waist piece, okay? After doing so, what you want to do is you completely fold down the knee joints, those knee hinges, all the way down to the shins, like that. And then you combine the legs as you would a Galvatron, just like that, okay? And then you want to fold out the wings like this, okay? And then the last bit is you want to attach the main gun or the main cannon right here, and then tab it, secure it with this sort of cockpit piece right here, just like that. And there you go. There is Super Megatron in his jet mode or spaceship Cybertronian spaceship alt mode. So it's pretty cool spaceship alt mode. I really like it. He actually comes packaged this way, and it's just so cool looking. Again, kind of reminds me of animated Megatron. I mean, this could have been a helicopter. You could transform it again, put some helicopters like that. Or it could still be his spaceship from animated, his Cybertronian mode. It just looks so cool. Now, again, if you're familiar with the comic book, the spaceship kind of looks like this. His feet should have been down here, but we don't get that. And instead of those big sort of Robotech Valkyrie thrusters, we get his feet right there. But the aesthetics are very, very similar. If you look closely, you got these sort of fins right here, and you got the wings. You can actually angle the wings like this so that you could mimic what he looked like in the anime comic book. And it's just a shame there's no stand. His feet do not form a stand. But it's pretty good. It's not super accurate, but it's a very good representation of how he was in his anime jet mode. I mean, that even that cannon, it could use some streamlining, but I love it. I really, really like it. And so some final thoughts on Super Megatron. I love this figure. This figure is going to get a 10 out of 10 for me. Despite not being exactly in scale with Star Convoy, and basically borrows some engineering from Titan's Return Galvatron, I still think it's an amazing, amazing figure. If you're a big fan of the anime manga comic book, you are going to want this figure. I think Hasbro executed this very nicely. Hasbro and Takara Tomy. It's a great, great figure that gives you all that vibe, not just from manga, but from Transformers Animated. You get Titan's Return, and you get the overall, just general feel of a really, really cool Megatron figure. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this figure. Is it something you have to get as well? Is it a pass for you? I'd be interested to know what you think of this figure. And as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. If it's your first time here, please subscribe. And if you want to help the channel out, help me make more video reviews, please check out my Patreon account. There's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the very end of the video. It really helps us with YouTube's algorithms and viewership and stats and all that. So thank you very much. And what Megatron video would be without a comparison of Megatron figures? So here we have the Super Megatron together with the Netflix Voyager class Siege Megatron, as well as the EARTHRISE Voyager class Megatron. And he's a little taller, about a centimeter taller than both these figures, but he's right there. Absolutely amazing Megatron figures we've gotten from Hasbro and Takara Tomy's War for Cybertron Trilogy figures.